What's up, everybody? How you guys doing today? Wait, good morning! How y'all doing today? My name is David Franco, and welcome to my recap of the iPhone 17 event. A lot happened. Not as much as I was hoping, and there are some things missing, which is very strange, especially, considering how consistent Apple has been for years now. There's something huge missing in the iPhone 17 Pro Max lineup. Did you catch it? Or just the Pro lineup in general? So stay tuned. Anyway, guys, what's up? My name is David Franco. I am an avid Apple fan. I've been a huge Apple fan since September 21st, 2004. That's when I got my first Mac ever, my PowerBook G4. Ever since then, I have not looked back. I mean, yeah, I'm using Windows right now, but literally just for gaming. But the point is, I'm a huge Apple fan. However, with that said, this year was kind of not all that exciting to me, because I just got this last year, the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and honestly, it's fine. Nothing is telling me to upgrade immediately, especially considering I'm trying to get into the habit of not spending money that I don't need to spend. For example, I want things like a PlayStation 5 Pro, but I'm not going to be, dropping $700-800 on that. I also want this or that, but just because I can put things on credit or Klarna or whatever, doesn't mean I should. So I'm in that mindset, and well, at the end of the day, it's just stuff. Nothing's going to change my life if I get the new iPhone. Life still goes on and the world continues to spin. So that's my mini rant / life advice for the day. Don't spend just because you think you have to spend, because guys, believe me, I've been there, and this is coming from someone who has bought an iPad Pro and just eventually sold it, months later. Anyway, with that said, AirPods Pro 3. Oh, and by the way, I'm sick. If you can't tell, my health has just flat out sucked in the past 3 weeks. It's just been horrible. But thankfully, I'm getting better. And guys, nothing you can say or do will stop me from recapping an Apple event every year. Okay, so AirPods Pro 3, I can say with confidence, this is not something I'm enticed to buy. I'm sure they're great. The AirPods Pro are a wonderful product. I have my own AirPods Pro, but I never use them. I never, ever use them, simply for one reason. I work from home. I guarantee you, if I did a daily commute like a lot of people do, or I had a, real job, then yes, I would absolutely use headphones on a daily basis. The only headphones I use pretty much almost daily are these headphones, my Sennheiser HD650s, because these are fantastic for gaming and live streaming. But yeah, in regards to being out of the house, I'm just not commuting often, if ever. So in other words, I don't need something like the AirPods Pro 3, but I will say the general consensus of this year's update is a heavier focus on two big things. Number one, comfort. Comfort is huge, and I love Apple, I love AirPods, but no matter how hard I try, I can never get AirPods to fit in my ears perfectly. There's always that little adjustment you have to do and whatever. Whereas with over-the-ear headphones, open back, by the way, I love these, so I can still hear the bugs chirping and whatever, bugs chirping, birds chirping in the background, bugs doing noises. I don't know, they might be mating. Hey, get it on, baby, get it on. Someone has to. Anyway, I'm a big fan of open back over-the-ear headphones, so I'm not a huge earbuds guy. So I've never really found that perfect comfort level that Apple seems to promise every single year. And it's not just an Apple thing. Google does this as well. Every company says, hey, these are our most comfortable earbuds that we've ever designed. Well, no shit. They have to say that. It's just marketing 101, And I don't blame them. And two, the other thing that they're focusing on is this. God, their marketing team comes up with the best lines. The best thing you've never heard. Who thinks of this stuff? Noise cancellation, guys. Active noise cancellation. ANC, as they referenced during the event. Apparently, it's better than ever. It's 2 times better, and it removes up to 4 times more unwanted noise. So that can't be a bad thing, right? So honestly, guys, if you loved your AirPods Pro, well, then you're about to love them even more with these new AirPods Pro 3. Okay. If there's one product that really grabbed my interest besides the iPhone Air, it's the Apple Watch Series 11. So I'm currently wearing... I'm not wearing an Apple Watch. So my first point is, I'm not one of those daily users who has to wear his watch every single day because, again, much like my AirPods Pro, I don't feel the need to wear my watch every day because I don't get out of the house too often. And I'm not ashamed to admit that, guys. I'm a hermit crab. Homebody. That's the better word. I mean, yeah, I get out pretty much every day to go thrifting, hang out with the parentals, get some dinner, get some lunch, all that stuff. Bada bing, bada boom, you know? But generally speaking, I'm not a very active guy. I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not. But I will say I definitely care about tracking my health data and maybe even my sleeping data. I've always been curious to track my sleep data, and apparently this is going to be even easier with the new Apple Watch Ultra 3, and I'll focus on that in a moment. But first, Series 11 comes with something new called, I don't think they're really marketing it as a title, I'm not sure, but basically it can sense hypertension, which apparently is quite common in adults worldwide. It's not just an American thing. This is worldwide. So guys, this could be huge. This could quite literally be life-saving, and I'm not gonna lie, I may have teared up a little bit during their Apple Watch recap video, basically showing real people going through real events, and the Apple Watch quite literally saved their lives. Guys, no matter what you try to tell me, like, oh, David, this is a marketing gimmick, no. These are real people wearing the Apple Watch, facing real events in their life, real, like, sad, scary events. And yes, an Apple Watch can quite literally save your life. There's no doubt about that. And I love that. You know, I love that. So anyway, we've got the usual sleek design, longer battery life, up to 24 hours. And you can only get 15 minutes of charging, which turns into 8 hours. I worded that kind of weird, but yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. You charge for 15 minutes and you get 8 hours, which is really cool. Advanced sensors, bada bing, bada boom, two hard sensors, wrist temperature sensing. Keep in mind, the Apple Watch I currently have and use on occasion is the Apple Watch Series 6. I did have the Apple Watch Series 9. I think Apple Watch Series 9. Or did I have a 10? Let me say, Series 10 unboxing. Okay. No, that's the Apple Watch Sport 42mm. That's the original. So yeah, I think I left off at the Apple Watch Series 9, right? Yeah. And eventually I sold it because I just found myself never using it and I needed some extra money. So I was like, why not sell it? So I did just that. I sold it. But anyway, yeah, there's a good chance I'm going to be getting either the Apple Watch Series 11 or the Apple Watch Ultra 3. Now, this is overkill. But honestly, I think most people who buy the Ultra don't go mountain climbing or deep diving or do anything extreme worthy. Come on, guys, let's be honest. I think most people just like having the best. You know, and honestly, I'm leaning in this direction, despite most of my day spent sitting on my couch or in my chair or in my car. You know, I'm just not an extremist, never claimed to be, but I definitely like the very large display. The battery life, check this out. 42 hours normal use and 72 hours in low power mode. This is what I'm focusing on right here. 42 hours of normal use. So, just imagine the amount of sleep data I can get from this. So in other words, I don't have to charge it every single night. I can have one normal day, get my sleep data that night, then maybe charge it during the day for a little bit, then put it back on when I head out of the house. You know, God forbid I actually leave my house. But seriously, guys, having the sleep data could be huge. And I don't always get the best sleep. I tend to wake up a lot. I don't know if I have any issues, but I mean, I sleep okay. But there are those nights where I just feel like I could sleep better. And they have this new thing called a sleep score, which is really cool. I just gotta find it. Hold on. Sleep score. There it is. So this kind of gamifies your sleep data, which I'm all for, guys. I'm a big person when it comes to gamification. Basically taking boring data and making it fun, which means that you can give it a score, quite literally, sleep score. Maybe introduce some kind of achievement system. I love gamification. Some people are against it for whatever reason. I don't know why. But in my opinion, you should make the boring stuff more fun. And well, that's exactly what the sleep score does. So this could actually be really, really interesting to me. And it could give me a fun, interesting way of actually looking at how well or not so well I sleep. My only issue is it's what, $7.99? Yeah, it starts at $7.99. That's a lot of money It's a lot of money. I mean, for someone like me, I'm not exactly rich. I'm not rolling in money, and I'm trying not to use my credit cards anymore. I'm just past that habit. I hate the idea of debt looming over my head. But I'm leaning towards this. I am. Or the iPhone 17 Air, and we'll talk about that shortly, but I'm leaning more towards not getting it. So if we do the default, I like the black one. Actually, I'm not a big fan of this loop. I don't like how it comes back over. What's the trail loop? Oh, that actually looks kind of nice. I've always liked the Milanese loop, but typically I'll go for like a $19 version on Amazon, and I've never had any huge issues with them. But yeah, the trail loop actually looks kind of cool. Maybe. Anyway, I'm just doing default pricing. Apple Watch trading, get $30 at $335 in credit towards the new Apple Watch. We're not going to focus on this too much, but basically the Apple Watch Ultra 3 is like the Apple Watch Ultra 1 and 2, and I recall the Apple Watch Ultra 2 only getting a minor upgrade. Wasn't it like space black or something like it? It wasn't anything huge. But apparently the screen is a little bigger because they shrunk the bezels a little bit, which is really cool. Battery life is better than ever. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, guys, 80 to 90% of these features don't apply to most of us, because most of us are, let's face it, right now sitting inside from the safety of our homes and watching on our phones or computers. We're not exactly camping right now. I'm just being realistic with you, you know? I'm just being realistic with you. But I've never had an Apple Watch Ultra, so this might be my first one, and who knows, maybe Santa Claus will bring me one for Christmas. Wink, wink. If you know what I'm saying, for those who watch my vlogs. Okay. iPhone 17. Yeah, so first of all, this doesn't apply to me at all. I'm just not a bare bones iPhone kind of guy. I'm usually a Pro or Pro Max kind of dude, you know, because I like ProMotion. ProMotion for... Wait, hold on. What's that? Ring, ring. Tim Cook, is that you? No. You finally did it? Well, holy shit. Lick my nipple and call me Charlie. Yo, okay. So the iPhone 17, by default, without even having to go Pro this year, guys, has a ProMotion display. If anybody tries to tell me 120 Hertz is not different from 60 Hertz, there's the door, all right? Waddle yourself out right now, because there is a significant difference between 60 Hertz and 120 Hertz. Let's just put it this way. The number one reason I refuse to ever bring an iPad Air into this house again, and yes, I'm focusing on the iPad for a second, is because it has a disgusting 60 Hertz display. Blech. It makes me want to just do that. I'm trying not to use exact words, you know, just in case you're eating dinner or lunch or whatever. But seriously, guys, 60 Hertz, 120 Hertz, it's night and day. Now, unfortunately, if you ask someone like my parents, they're probably like, oh, I don't say it. Well, if that's you, I honestly feel bad for you, because 120 Hertz is insane. So, for example, right now, I'm using a 144 Hertz monitor. And let me tell you, going from 60 to 144 is a massive difference. Even going from 60 to 90 Hertz is a massive difference. Maybe I was blessed with good eyes, or I don't know. I just care about this sort of thing. So the fact that the iPhone 17 actually has ProMotion from day one, Apple, it's about damn time. It's about damn time. God, I haven't seen that meme in a while. Anyway, this is huge. This is huge. I really like this feature, by the way. So they have a new front camera center stage feature, which basically allows... Oh my god, my scroll just kicked in. This mouse. All right, let's bring it back up here. So basically, you can take a landscape photo without rotating your phone into landscape orientation, and that's huge. I mean, just the other night, shout out to my dude Joey Image. He was here the other night just staying the night because he was in town for a wrestling event, and I wanted to take a picture of him and myself, and I turned the phone to landscape, right? But I had to use the volume buttons to take it because of the awkward holding, which I don't generally do, because using the volume buttons introduces some, you know, camera shutter, if you will, some camera shake. And I don't like that, and I know the phone does its best job to eliminate the jitter and whatever you want to call it, but I don't like that, you know? I like knowing that I have total and full control. So the fact that I can just use my phone vertically now and take a horizontal photo, that's huge. Like a landscape photo in landscape orientation, that is huge. That's a big feature. So thank you. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't apply to me because this is iPhone 17. But anyway, let's talk about the iPhone Air. People every year say Apple doesn't innovate. And I disagree. People think innovation means creating some kind of revolutionary feature that will change the world forever. People have their expectations way too high. It's not every year we can get, an iPhone level product or an iPad or Apple Watch or AirPods or iPod or, something that changes the industry. So from year to year to year, people are like, oh, well, Apple's boring. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. Well, no shit. Do you really think, and guys, this is not just an Apple thing. You really think companies like Apple and Google and Samsung can come out with a new product every year that just absolutely shatters your expectations? No, that's just not realistic. So there's a huge difference between revolutionary and innovative. This I'm not going to call revolutionary, but this I will definitely call innovative. Like, this is quite literally the thinnest iPhone ever, but with the power of Pro inside. Despite only having one lens, it uses their fusion camera, so you get multiple lenses in one lens, which is incredible. That's a huge deal. But what I'm most focused on is this, like how thin it truly is. And people are always like, well, David, how thin does something need to be? Well, first of all, you don't need to buy it. I say that respectfully. People always judge products as if Apple is targeting you, the consumer. They're likely not targeting you. They're targeting people like me who enjoy when companies push the envelope, who push their limitations, and cram as much as they can into quite literally the thinnest iPhone ever in the world. And this is proof of that. Now, yeah, we have this huge camera bump, which is whatever. I'm kind of used to camera bumps. It is what it is. But like example, the new iPad Pro. Yeah, I had it for a little while. I sold it because I never used it because, again, realistically, I don't need an iPad Pro right now. And it just wasn't worth the money for me, especially considering how much money it cost. I'm not going to... Anyway, it was a really thin product, but it didn't feel cheaply made. Like, it was so thin and sturdy, it blew me away when I held that. So, guys, I am the target consumer. I enjoy when Apple makes the thinnest iPhone ever. And I get it. People were like, well, why not focus on battery life? I mean, if you want battery life, then go for the iPhone 17 Pro or Pro Max. I mean, this quite literally has the biggest battery ever because of this big-ass camera bump, which honestly is growing on me. More on that in a bit. But anyway, if I were to get an iPhone this year, and I'm leaning towards not, it would actually be the iPhone Air. And interestingly enough, you notice they're not putting a number on it. It's just Air, not iPhone 17 Air. So it makes me think, are they going to update this next year and call it the iPhone Air 2? Or are they just going to call it the iPhone Air second generation, iPhone Air, whatever? Like, this might be the iPad Airification of the iPhone Air lineup. This is something that people are willing to spend a little more for, technically less, but not really, because it's got the power of Pro inside. So anyway, let's explore it for a little bit. So, I am really curious to hold this in person. And I am leaning towards this because, check it out, it comes in space gray, or galaxy black, or whatever they're going to call it this year. They seem to call it something different every year. Yeah, I mean, this actually looks like a really nice iPhone. Now, my biggest issue is the screen size. Like, I'm a Pro Max user. I don't like going back to smaller phones, and that's the biggest thing holding me back from going with this. So, we'll see. I'll think about it. It would be nice if they gave the thin treatment to the iPhone 17 Pro Max, but I don't think they're ever going to do that because they're pushing the Pro as much as they can. But based on first impressions, I'm really excited to see what they're doing with the iPhone Air. Like, guys, this is quite literally the iPad Air all over again, but for the iPhone. So it could be really interesting. I'm not going to judge it based on first impressions too much, but from what I can tell, it looks really nice. Like, I'm definitely the target audience when it comes to thin devices. I just love thin devices. So we'll see. And by the way, pricing is actually better than I thought. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not saying that as an Apple fanboy. I mean, I guess I am an Apple fanboy, but regardless of Apple or Google or Samsung, like, I think $9.99 is a fair price. Honestly, they could have easily started at like maybe $10.99. And by the way, 256 gigabyte being default, I thought at first that was too little, but then I looked at my phone. Check this out. So I went to my iPhone storage, and I'm only using 106 gigabytes out of 512 gigabytes. Look at that. Only 106 gigabytes. Now that's mostly due to two things. Number one, I tend to delete videos on here that I record for, you know, YouTube or whatever, and videos that I know I will no longer need. And number two, the cloud, baby. The cloud, like, most of my large attachments are pretty much in the cloud these days. So the days of, you know, having 512 gigabytes or 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte are kind of behind me. And believe me, I use my phone every day. I'm taking pictures and videos every single day, whether it's for my own personal use, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. I mean, it's not like I'm not using my phone. It's just storage optimization has just gotten infinitely times better in recent years, mostly thanks to cloud storage. So anyway, my point is, if I were to get the iPhone 17 Air, the bare minimum model, check this out, I could trade in my 16 Pro Max, right? The iPhone's in pretty much perfect condition. I could get it for $300. $300 after trade-in. That's insanely cheap. But again, my biggest concern is going from my Pro Max display down to this smaller screen size, which I'm not a huge fan of. So I'm leaning towards not getting it, and I think I'm just going through that introductory hype where I'm like, I want this, I want this, I want this. Then after a week or so, I'm like, oh, I don't really need it. My 16 Pro Max is just fine. So the FOMO is settling in right now, but I think it'll fade in time. And plus, at the end of the day, it really is just a new iPhone. It's not really going to do anything too differently than my Pro Max does. So generally speaking, there's a really good chance I'm going to stick with this until next year. Because guys, I literally just got this phone last year. So we'll see. And again, I'm not exactly made of money, so I don't mind waiting. So anyway, iPhone 17 Pro. The more I see the bump, the more I'm used to, because let's face it, this has been leaked for months now, months. And at first I was like, oh, that's ugly. But the more I look at it, the more I appreciate it, because according to Apple, this huge bump here has quite literally allowed them to pack more than ever in this case, which means we get a bigger battery life, which is really cool. Camera control is still there, interestingly enough. Honestly, I just use it to launch the camera. I don't ever use it to modify anything. But yeah, it's more scratch resistant. We've got 8x optical quality zoom, which is huge. 48 megapixel on all these cameras now, all three, which is a big deal. Because I'll be honest, the ultra wide camera, I don't use it too often on my phone, but the ultra wide camera on my 16 Pro Max is kind of poo-poo. Like, it's good enough in a well-lit condition, but if you go outside at night and you try to get like a dramatic black and white photo of like mist in the air, it's gonna look like, you know, ugh, it's just not gonna look that great. But the fact that we are getting a huge bump in resolution in all lenses, in all cameras, that's a big deal. So ultra wide photos could actually look a lot better. Look at all these lens types. It's actually really cool. Guys, zoom out, pun intended, and think about how far we've come. Think about how far we've come, because people say the iPhone is the same every year. It's not. You think it's the same every year, but it's really not if you actually truly take some freaking time out of your day and look and study. Don't just go by, you know, images and things you see on social media. And of course, you get the new square sensor, which allows you to do landscape photos while in portrait, which is a huge deal for me. I love that, but it's not worth upgrading. But anyway, shout out to my dude Joey Image again, because we were texting after the event. He noticed something very interesting, and this didn't even occur to me because I just assumed it was there. Apple, chill. Do you see something missing? Space gray. Guys, there's quite literally no space gray iPhone 17 Pro or Pro Max this year. Check it out. Pro Max, you get silver, cosmic orange, and deep blue. There's no space gray. That's so weird. That is so bizarre. And I'm a big fan of space gray. So with trade-in, this would be at $500, which is actually not bad at all. But again, if I were to get an iPhone, I'm actually leaning towards the iPhone Air. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm in the process of paying off a little bit of credit card debt, nothing insane, and putting money towards taxes as a self-employed content creator. That's my biggest focus, is taxes. I don't want to be, stressed come tax season next year. So I had to do the responsible thing. Any money coming in is going towards taxes and paying off my credit cards, which, guys, if I had to be transparent with you, I only owe like $1,000 in credit card debt, which is not bad at all. Honestly, I'll have that paid off by like probably next month. But I don't want to put this on a card. And that's my biggest goal. That's my biggest takeaway from this video for you guys, hopefully, is like, don't buy something just because you think you need to buy it. Because at the end of the day, it's just stuff. Going from the 16 to the 17 or the 16 to the Air. Yeah, it's going to be nice. You're going to go through the honeymoon phase for the first 2 weeks. But then eventually you'll find yourself stressed out of debt. And that's not me. Like I don't want to do that. But with that said, if I come into some money, because we are going to the holiday season, my ad revenue typically goes up quite a bit during the holidays, then yeah, maybe, just maybe, Santa Claus will bring me either the iPhone Air or the Apple Watch Ultra 3 on Christmas morning. So we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. What are your thoughts on today's event? Overall, I thought it was pretty solid. I don't think it was really all dropping or whatever they called it, but this is really nice. Like, this is really, really cool. But it makes you wonder, like, how much thinner can it get? It's very interesting. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon.